Like he always does, we're going to jump on board now with Rampage and Damien and Vivid, who's also been absolutely climbing his way up the ladder.
Wow, what a conclusion to that game there. Just insanity across the board. Now we're into the fifth circle, so that is a circle that will be half in, half out. 30 players left in this lobby. And Vivid, a familiar name to a lot of Fortnite fans, competitive Fortnite fans. You see his clips all the time on Reddit. And Vivid showing everyone why he is one of the best. He's going to drop him right in there, but the player, wisely enough, gets out. But Vivid is going to make him pay. So that was great because either the player would have fallen right into the trap, right into Vivid's hands, or, as we saw right there, right into an area where Vivid was going to be able to get the angle because that player was caught off guard.
Yeah, was peeking for it right away, and he's known for doing that, whether it's from shooting and dropping those builds out or editing his own builds. We've seen him do that in the fall skirmish. It was a very amazing play. But jumping on board now with High Sky was one of the winners from the Blackguard. Uses the heavy step, punches right into the box. But can he convert? The other player now has disengaged one box over, disengaged two box over. High Sky still trying to find ownership of the wall. Gets it, gets through, but will he be able to convert on it? Yes! Graska going down the other half of the Graska and Daxor duo. He's been putting in work, but now dropped outside of the top 25.
That whole play started with the aggression from that heavy snipe. It is a wall buster, one shot, and that thing is gone, and no one will be able to have time to get in or to try and defend after it. But you get that one shot, that one opportunity. Back over to Vivid now, who's got 3 eliminations, 2 boogie bombs in case there's some pesky ballers that he wants to take care of, as well as that legendary AR, which he could put to good use.
Definitely seized everything he wanted from all of that loot right there, but we're going to jump right back on over to Vivid as now he's using that little bit of the cone peak to try and get lay of the land. This is one thing we've talked about with Vivid in particular. If you want to learn awareness and competitive positioning and where to check your angles, go watch Vivid play. He does it all the time in all of his scrims, all of his arena games. Watch how he plays the game. He's always checking his angles as this rotation comes out, and this is huge because we're at 28 players left.
Couple players now falling in the action feed. Philly is going to be one that will fall, as well as Naker. That is 2 down to Vivid's hand, and will use that jump pad to just get out of dodge, play the edge of the storm, reposition, set up in the 1x1, maybe try and see if he can own more of the terrain with those builds. But he's going to land right on the ground here, and I like that. Immediately going up high and just getting angles there.
And you have 2 chances actually challenging and taking the high ground away directly from Vivid. Not too worried about it. Realize he's back to
trapdoor.
Edits 2Chens down and takes the trade. Luckily for him, 2Chens was on about effective 20 HP, so no worries there. 6 eliminations, getting closer to the top 15 as Tomdes goes down to Pierre. Needs to edit himself out, but is on the backside of the circle, so might be able to pick up a bunch of elims if he's ready to fight here.
Damien still going to be in the action down low. Pierre XBL. It's another player there.
Zaiti just got a double. Zaiti just got a huge double on the backside of the circle from that mid-tarp, pushing him in. Now we're inside the top 12 as Dash picks up AJ as well.
Just heard a boogie go off too. Pierre is looking around, wants to find someone. He's going to have a green tack. A green tack in the late game here is something that you don't see all the time, but he's got to make it work somehow and then upgrade, but he won't be able to because Glowing will stop him right in his tracks. And now Glowing actually is going to be feeling the brunt of that one. Just after picking up that elimination, you think you're going to be safe, but not when it's top 9, not when it's the best players in NA East and Fortnite all going toe-to-toe. There goes the boogie bomb, but it's going to be blocked there for the moment. And then Vivid goes right back around to just get ownership of all of this terrain. Once again, it's something he does so well.
He has no builds, GB. He needs to be super careful here. Running around the low ground, picks up Spyrock as well. 70
what? That was disgusting. Morris thought that he was going to catch Vivid with his pants down, but no, that belt was tied up nicely, and Vivid manages to hold this one on the low ground and should have picked up, yes, he picked up a decent amount of builds to be able to fight this one. That player's going to be hacking out of a tree. Vivid knows that this is an opportunity to get aggressive on this player.
Also gets a second AR, so he doesn't have to worry about the reload and swap, which you might not have enough time to do in the late game. Looking for an edit peak, does own both the walls, drops the edit player, picks up Z TI to get himself into the top 5 as well. 9 elimination points, 7 placement points, 16-point match so far as Wallspar presses Vivid.
This is going to be a tough fight for Vivid because he doesn't have the shields and he needs to regroup. So he is able to pop a mini, but he's going to get chunked for a decent amount of damage there. Wallspar has him. He's going to be back against the Storm. Vivid is not going to be able to come out on top. But what a run did Vivid have there. That was so impressive. Wallspar will get the better of him. Damien is going to be in that mid ground. No Cry as well as Streetwise. Some names that I haven't personally seen before. So let's see if we're going to get a cheeky victory royale here from Streetwise, who has that high ground. Meanwhile, down low, you have Wallspar waiting to see if Damien's going to go in and challenge him. And Wallspar is able to get the elimination. But now Streetwise with the high ground punishes Wallspar and then goes up to the sky. And this is very, very risky to do here. Because if he does, yeah, there you have it. I was going to say it was an ambitious play. He went up to the sky, tried to get away from it. It just was not meant to be. And Streetwise will pick up the victory royale.
Streetwise, very streetwise or street smart indeed. Taking that one home. I've seen him a couple times in some of these solo matches, but not super familiar. Want to go look there, but definitely the story of that match was Vivid hanging around, 16 points getting in there, but now jumping on board. We have Pacifist in there, Yassine, Tetra, Yurley, Dom X, C. Robbie, who we've seen a ton of as well. Insight, I mean, this is a stacked lobby. I mean, just nighttime balling around towards the side. And we're also very far east since we're over by that racetrack.
You know, there are so many players in this game, and you're always, like, I follow so many of these individuals, and they're so talented. And Flossin, no, please.
Well, you speak of the individuals you follow, Golden Boy. You speak it into existence. Flossin going down to a great snipe shot in AR follow-up from Single there.
It hurts me. But despite that, I was going to say there's so many great players here. We got talking about a pool of hundreds upon thousands of individuals that are all so talented. And is this going to land? Oh, okay. Well, your eyes didn't deceive you. There's a little bit of a hitch there, but it is, you know, obviously this is constantly, as far as spectating goes, always a work in progress here. It's such a massive game. Got to follow all of the action. Despite that, though, got to give, what is this, Singby or Single? I got to give him some love there because he's got a pretty steady snipe regardless.
Yeah, you see him trying to line up those shots, and as Golden Boy was alluding to, this is a slightly new way of jumping into the matches. We are still looking to improve every single week when we get it out to you. But again, this is the final matches for the NA East region of the first week of the Fortnite Online Opens to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup final in New York City. We've seen 11 players qualify through. We'll have 6 more from NA East in just a couple of minutes, getting closer and closer to that final, you know, call time where all the matches have wrapped up. And then after that, we're not done yet. We'll have NA West with 2 more qualifiers, 19 in total for this weekend, advancing on the first possible weekend to that New York City final.
That blue Silence SMG is such a wall buster. It's obviously not as good as a heavy AR, but when you want to try and put pressure on someone, it's a very good weapon to have in your kit.
Yeah, the high rate of fire as well as the damage to structures actually allows it to pierce through a little bit better than its epic and legendary compact subparts, and also has good player damage. So a lot of players opt into that.
Tires. That was actually a really smart play there. Using the tires to try and get up into the high ground, or maybe get a little bit more vision. You can use them here too to get higher up, but he opts not to. Instead, wants to go for that cover, wants to try and just play back against the Storm here. Someone's going to drop down in front of him, but all FN's going to go down. And then you're seeing in the action feed start to light up. But Angelo continuing to use those tires, just bouncing around, getting a little bit more speed off, and just trying to stay alive.
He had no builds going into that either, Golden Boy. Was just trying to stay towards the backside of the circle to find one of those players running out as the rift does get popped off. Notice how now players are starting to put traps by those rotations. Single versus Angelo. Whoever gets that will have a chance to stay in the server, and it's Single picking it up, but he needs to catch up and get through. Can he catch back up and so close? One more tick. And no, he ticks over. Tfue ends up going down there as well. Germ picking up 9 breeze as we're inside the top 25 now.
What a game we have had here. Right over the racetrack. Interesting terrain to fight in. But now we're going into the grassy knolls. Got a lot of ball. Okay, this is probably the most ballers I've seen in a game. And it's basically just, you know, it's a ball bonanza. But Corby Robb there. going to be in the high ground. He's going to be low, 37 FK. There you go. The elimination onto Uvik will give him 62 HP, 100 onto Tetra. And he gets a follow-up on another elimination here. Should be able to pick that one up, and that's going to be Kramix who goes down, but no more builds to work with.
Needs to find every utility he can, as there's so many ballers in this endgame. Now, we've talked about it before, the grapple range being incredibly long, the boost being efficient, and if these players are all in ballers, then they're not interacting with anyone else. It is on somebody to force this action as Merc and Av is starting to put pressure down onto them. You do see shots raining down from the high ground as those flows start to come out and force the players out of the baller, but all you can hear is dink, grapple, as the players bounce around, boost around, trying to just be and exist into the top 15. If they can do that and then not have their ballers broken, they'll also have all of the utility, all of their mats, anything they didn't have to use to rotate, as Av tries to rip some ballers up in the sky and is unsuccessful there.
Yeah, I was hoping to see if he can nab some of them. There's Dubs once again. Dubs always in that high ground position, does a brilliant job of maintaining that. Twiz, another great player, but unfortunately will not be long for this lobby, and Dubs needs to be careful because he's going to be very, very weak. Going now to Av. Av, that's it right there. Beautifully done. Germ just fell right into his hands, and that was a nice trap elimination to get him yet another elimination toward the tail end of the NA East queue time. Every single point counts at this point.
Every point matters. We saw that Europe came down to the difference of tiebreakers. It was about a victory now or not. We saw Oceania come down to the difference of a single point. We saw Brazil come down to the difference of a single point. They want everything they can, as Dubs is being pressured by Pacifist on that high ground. You have Yurli, Nighttime, Dom, Kydra, and Av. Nighttime in there as well. Just said that. Maro, the other one, on the low ground. 9 players left, GB.
But now, Av is going to wait. Does he bust in? Yes, he does. He's going to go right into the face of Nighttime and will get more builds for his trouble.
Nighttime right there. Av says you can tuck yourself in and turn on your nightlight because you're going back to the lobby. Won't have time to queue up for another match, so that's going to be the end of his tournament there, as Sporty Kid 2019 is pressuring Dubs.
Still in
and
this?
Dubs could get sneezed on. Dubs could get tapped by a breath of anything. He's going to drop down. Look for anything he can get. Had no more mats. Dropping down there. 6 players remaining. Sporty Kid getting taken out by Kydra on Ultimate High. Maro and him in an engagement right now, and everyone's just trying to stay with the circle except for Pacifist going for the heal.
I think Kydra Kydra is going to win this. If he lands on Pacifist, though, and Pacifist is going to be there healing off, and Kydra's going to move into it. Kydra and Pacifist are right next to each other, but Kydra will be able to stay alive long enough. Pacifist went for that double campfire composition, just went to drop those 2 items down to keep him alive. But that will be Kydra's time to win. All right, well, for now, we're going to set it over to Bola, who's inside of the studio.
Thank you, Golden Boy, and that is a wrap on NA East. We do actually have the final standings here. 6 players have fought all the way through from yesterday, all the way through, and guess what? It's going to be Bugga up on top in first place. And then remember, 6 players have qualified, so Dubs, Bizzle, Commandment, Vivid, and Cease all the way up.